Hello and welcome everybody, I am WASD Click, and welcome to my first ever commentary in the realm of Wildstar. Today I'm covering the recently revealed Wildstar Wednesday stress test results. Now, the results of a stress test may not be terribly exciting for most of you at home, but they are extremely important to you and me. This is the kind of stuff that helps prevent the launch of this game turning out to be exactly like Diablo 3, and we all know how much of a disaster that was. The first stress test was an incredible success in the terms that it did exactly what Carbine wants it to do: break the servers until they're completely unusable. This meant that many players who had hoped to play the game didn't really get too much of a shot at it. Everyone logged in almost all at once, and the server rage quit just as quick. Different problems persisted throughout the test, and now Carbine has a much better idea of how and what to work on. One of the things revealed is that the starting tutorial areas are going to be instanced to 20 men each. Now, this means that you can't jump in and immediately go wherever you want, but it does mean that on launch, when we have bunches of people all starting in the same area, we're not going to be competing for quests, which is overall much better. In fact, if it turns out to be anything like City of Heroes, we'll maybe even get a level out of it, or a secret achievement that we can find for getting to a particular spot or reading all the tutorial text. I remember that City of Heroes had a giant monster at the end of it. So does Guild Wars 2, which, while the monster's not exactly tough or anything, it does make the tutorial feel a little bit more epic, and it does give us a taste of what's to come. Now, the problem that they encountered with these 20-man instances is that they were allowing upwards of 400 players in a single instance. However, this has quickly been fixed, as apparently the problem was rather small, or at least the first one that they tackled. Now, for the problems that they are still working on, they are having problems with their server monitoring software. It's misrepresenting the names of players, and that could be really bad for the support team. As, say, you get stuck in some glitchy piece of terrain and you can't move. If they try and teleport you out, they might get the wrong name and teleport somebody else entirely out of their raid. However, the bigger problem that they're having right now is that the gateway machine is capping at 10 megabytes per second worth of data transfer. The gateway machine is essentially the highway between your computer and the server. So if you're trying to play and a bunch of other people are playing, all that data comes together and just creates a big traffic jam. Carbine is looking into ways to expand the bandwidth, that way everybody will be able to play at once. However, they're not sure whether it's a hardware or software problem. If it's hardware, it should be simple enough to just take out the parts that aren't working and put in new, better parts. But if it's software, they're going to need to dig around in the code and figure out what's limiting them. And unfortunately, that can take a bit of time. Craig Turner, the live producer for Carbine, went on record as saying that he's looking forward to the time that the community team forgets his name. Because if they have, then it means that stability is no longer an issue, everything's running smoothly, and pretty much he doesn't have to do nearly as much work. The big reveal of this is that there's going to be more stress tests fairly soon. This of course means more beta keys will be distributed, and for the people that work on stress tests, that means they'll also get beta keys for later on when the game is functioning properly. However, before they get into another stress test, there are a few things that Carbine wants players to keep in mind as they get ready for the next one. First is that stress tests mean that things are going to break. It's not about gameplay, it's about making sure that the server is going to be able to handle the load of people that are going to be playing. They'd also like to make sure that everybody knows that they will be in contact with the players during these stress tests. Every half an hour, they did a Twitter update that showed, yeah, things are still broken, or, hey, we finally got things going again, let's try and get everybody on the server again. Overall, the stress test was a really big success, and Carbine would like to thank all the players who tried to play the game during the time in which the server was just absolutely smashed. I'd also like to extend a big thanks to Carbine for being upfront about the stress test results and involving the community as much as they do. Not everybody does that, and it's really nice to have a chance to really affect the game. Hopefully soon we'll have another test. That way more of us can get beta keys and get our chance to finally explore the amazing world that is Wildstar. If you enjoyed my ramblings, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I hope to put out new videos at least once a week to at least coincide with Wildstar Wednesday. Leave comments on what you'd like to hear covered or how I might improve. Feedback's greatly appreciated, or you could just yell at me in all caps and misspell every other word. Whatever works.